There are many actors in Hollywood who seem to do everything, but few could be truly called a Renaissance man. Unless, of course, you're Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren isn't just a cinematic powerhouse, he's one of the most fascinating figures in action film history. Born Hans Lundgren on November 3rd, 1957 in Stockholm, Sweden, he grew up in a strict household under a father who was a military officer and economist. That discipline would shape him. As a teenager, Dolph struggled with self-esteem, but found confidence through martial arts. He took up Kyokushin karate at 15, a full-contact style known for its toughness, and it changed his life. By his early 20s, he held a second Dan black belt and later progressed to third Dan. He would go on to become a European champion in 1980 and 1981. But before Hollywood, there was academia. Dolph earned a degree in chemical engineering from the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm and received a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Sydney. That's right, he's a real scientist. He was even awarded a Fulbright Scholarship to MIT. Few actors can say they turned down MIT to become action stars, but Dolph did exactly that. He was working as a bodyguard for singer Grace Jones, who became his girlfriend and encouraged him to pursue acting. That leap would change the trajectory of his life. His breakout came in 1985 with Rocky IV, where he played Ivan Drago, the towering Soviet boxer who becomes Rocky Balboa's most dangerous opponent. Dolph didn't just play a villain, he became an icon. At 6 foot 5 inches with a chiseled frame and icy stare, he embodied Cold War tension. But the performance was more than muscle. It was precise, quiet, and terrifying. Behind the scenes, the training was brutal. Stallone insisted on realism, and during filming, Dolph hit him so hard in the chest that Stallone's heart swelled and he ended up in intensive care for 8 days. After Rocky IV, Dolph was catapulted into global stardom. He took the lead in Masters of the Universe in 1987 as He-Man, embracing the fantasy action role with the same intensity. Then came films like Red Scorpion, The Punisher, Showdown in Little Tokyo, and Universal Soldier, where he starred alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme. These films may not have always been critical darlings, but they made Dolph a VHS-era legend. He was the thinking man's action hero, fluent in multiple languages, capable of playing brute strength or calculating menace. Despite his image as a physical powerhouse, Dolph never abandoned his intellect. He has said repeatedly that he sees acting as a craft to be studied and improved. He's directed several of his own films, including The Mechanic and Commando Performance, often weaving in elements of his personal experience, his discipline, betrayal, redemption. His characters aren't just fighters, they're men with codes. He also maintained his martial arts practice. Even into his late 50s and 60s, he was training, often posting clips of his pad work or fitness routines. He had been a public advocate for physical health, often addressing men's fitness, recovery, and mental strength. Dolph has openly discussed his own battles with cancer. Diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2015, he went through treatment quietly and continued to work. In 2023, he revealed he'd been battling the illness for 8 years. He said the diagnosis gave him a new perspective on life. Less about the action, more about gratitude and family. One of the most impressive aspects of Dolph's career is its longevity. Unlike many 80s stars who faded, Dolph found a way to adapt. He was brought back to mainstream attention with the Expendables series, where he reunited with Stallone and other action legends. In that series, he played Gunnar Jensen, a volatile, unpredictable character that gave him room to flex both his physicality and comic timing. And then came Creed 2, where he reprised his role as Ivan Drago, this time as a fallen man seeking redemption through his son. It was a full circle moment, layered, emotional, and more mature than anything fans expected. Dolph Lundgren is fluent in Swedish, English, German, and even speaks some Japanese. He's been a UN advocate for environmental issues, and despite his tough guy persona, he's a classically trained musician who plays the drums. There's a reason why people keep calling him one of the most underrated minds in Hollywood, because he breaks the mold. You think you're watching a muscle-bound soldier, but you're really watching a man with 2 engineering degrees who reads Nietzsche and directs films in his spare time. Outside of film, he's a devoted father and has spoken candidly about co-parenting and fatherhood. His daughter, Ida Lundgren, is also in the entertainment industry, and Dolph often mentions how family became his anchor, especially during health struggles. Despite Hollywood fame, he's remained grounded. He doesn't chase celebrity. He works, he crafts, he improves. In many ways, Dolph Lundgren is a contradiction. He's the ultimate action figure, but also a quiet intellectual. He's known for breaking people on screen, but builds stories off it. He's the scientist who became a fighter, the European who conquered Hollywood, the villain who turned into a humanized mentor. He represents something rare, transformation through effort. Today, Dolph continues to act, direct, and train. He may have started as Ivan Drago, but he ended up as a symbol of endurance and intelligence in an industry that rarely values both. And that's what makes him iconic. Not just because he was strong, but because he was smart enough to make it last. If you'd like to hear us talk about more areas of martial arts, culture, Hollywood, and far more, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.